Hello, bonjour, goedendag, добрый день. The trade exchange between the economy of Belgium, Luxembourg and Russia must be relaunched to avoid a serious economic, social and financial crisis. We have brought together in daily web forum our members, our partners and business leaders from all sectors of economy to make it possible. Today we have with us a lawyer, members of the steering committee of the Flemish Chamber for Belarus and Russia, Mr Jeroom JOOS. Jeroom, the Kingdom of Belgium started to emerge from the confinement that was adopted in connection with the coronavirus crisis. What are the implications for the Flemish business and what recommendation could you give to our fellow entrepreneurs?
Well, thank you, Oleg, for your call and for giving me the opportunity to give some comments on the current situation. Last time we physically have met was back in January, and I remember that at that time we were still very optimistic about the year 2020. We were confident that the bilateral trade between Belgium and the countries of the Eurasian Economic Union would continue to steadily grow. Of course, a lot has happened since then. At this moment, the Flemish trade figures for the months of February, March and April have not yet been published. Currently only the figures for January are available. And those figures for the month of January show that the bilateral trade between Flanders and Russia has increased by approximately 20%. Of course, those figures are no longer representative for the rest of the year, for which we may expect a strong decline, but still it is important to remember that we started the year with a positive outlook. But things took a drastic turn, and I think it is safe to say that all the sectors that are key in the trade relations between Belgium and the Eurasian Economic Union feel a huge impact of the crisis. Although transport of goods still continues, we see a substantial downfall of the trade of chemical products, machinery, metals, plastics, diamonds, and also food products. A notable exception is the IT industry, which, for the time being, seems fairly resistant to the crisis. I have spoken to some IT companies from Belarus, and it is my understanding that they see the current situation as an opportunity to develop new products and to create new solutions. Now we have entered the phase where our policymakers are working out a so-called exit strategy, but nevertheless our entrepreneurs very well understand that the impact of this crisis will be felt for a much longer period, certainly for the year 2020, but also most likely even after that. So within the business community, there is a growing awareness that there is no such thing as getting back to normal. No, we are entering a new era with a lot of uncertainties. And there are a lot of questions. How substantial this economic recession will be? How long will it last? To what extent the purchasing power will be reduced? What about inflation? And what about exchange rates? These are all understandable questions, but at this moment there are not yet clear answers to them. And there are also practical considerations. As you know, Oleg, very well, the business relations between Belgian companies and the companies from the Eurasian Economic Union in most cases have been developed and have been built through personal contacts over a long period of time with a lot of face-to-face meetings, with business trips and so on. And now these direct contacts are impossible and they will be for the coming months. Aeroflot has cancelled its flights to Brussels until July. Brussels Airlines has cancelled all its flights to Moscow for the rest of the year. The airport in Charleroi is temporarily closed, so there are no direct flights available from Belgium to Minsk. And even when the air passenger traffic will resume, things will not be as before. As to the message for the business community, well, it's very difficult, but I think it is important to remain calm and to keep the focus on the long term. It is very important to keep the good relations with all the long-term business partners. The Belgian business people active on the Eurasian economic market understand very well that it is very important in these difficult times to be loyal, and that this attitude will be highly appreciated by the partners and will pay off in the long term. But it's also very important to realize that we are entering a new period, and that for many of us it will be necessary to reinvent our business models and our business activities to be able to cope with the new situation. And in this respect, innovation and digitalization are the key words.
Thank you very much, Jeroom. Dear colleagues, for all the necessary action related to your business in Russia, you can contact us directly to our website or by phone. Please remember, in today's conditions, the Chamber is your real, reliable, trusted partner in Moscow.